Welcome everyone to today's webinar. And we always thank you for taking time out of your busy day to join us on a Thursday afternoon with our special guests from Sloan and Hunter panels. And this is the 11th part in our series, Transparency is the New Green in Product Selection and Specification. For those of you who haven't been to a Sustainable Minds webinar in the past, we do record them, and you will get sent a link after the webinar, probably tomorrow. And if you're interested in the deck, you can request that and we will send that out to you as well. We'll take questions at the end, and any questions you have, put them into the questions panel. Any questions we don't get to today in the Q&A session, we will definitely follow up with you and get you those answers to those questions. So this webcast series is about featuring manufacturers in the Transparency Catalog who have invested time, money, and expertise into making higher performing, greener, and healthier products, and creating those transparency disclosures to tell those stories and provide the credibility that they are making those investments in improving their products. And so today, we're going to learn from them how they are working in their own organizations to understand and improve the environmental performance and material health of their products. We'll hear about which products they have that they've made disclosures for. Why did they make those disclosures? What have they learned from investing in transparency? What are they doing to improve? And why, for those of you who are here, why use product transparency as a selection criteria for product specification? And so Sustainable Minds is all about integrating product transparency into product marketing so that it's all one comprehensive story, that the environmental story isn't separate, because now that's a performance criteria, environmental performance, material health, that you use to make decisions about products. So hearing an integrated story gives you a sense that that manufacturer actually does know what they're doing, and they are making strides in product improvement. So today, again, our special guests are Patrick Boyle from Sloan and Nicole Richard from Hunter Panels. They will each introduce themselves when we get to their section. And I'm Terry Swack, the CEO and founder of Sustainable Minds. A little bit about Sustainable Minds. I founded the company a pretty long time ago in green product years, which are probably as long as dog years, although they're getting shorter. We're a software company. We're a B2B provider of environmental product transparency tools, applications, and data. Our first product we brought to market in 2009 is a eco-design and LCA tool in the cloud for product development teams to be able to rapidly model the environmental performance of products across the life cycle, to understand what's creating the greatest impacts and make improvement decisions in the design process. When LEED version 4 was introduced in 2012, we began to apply the very same perspective on bringing simplification and understandability and meaning into the tools being offered to architects, engineers, contractors, and building product manufacturers to use LCA in the building products industry to tell those stories about better environmental performance, and ultimately for people to use that information to make decisions. When that happened, when LEED introduced the product transparency credits for disclosing environmental performance and material health, that's when we took the position that transparency is the new green. That up till then, there were a few credits in LEED for product-specific credits, things like recycled content, distance from the manufacturing facility to the project. But with the introduction of product transparency, essentially the communication was if we're going to add up all the parts of a building to understand the total impacts of a building, then things need to be measured using the same methods, and it needs to be more than single attribute. It needs to be comprehensive. It needs to be scientific, and it needs to be credible. And so those of you who have been involved in this space since that time know the very challenging journey that manufacturers have been on to really get their arms around the environmental performance and material health of their products, and to create these disclosures and to go to market with this information to position their products as products to be used in green building and high performance buildings. So the challenge is for AECs is finding those products with transparency information when you really are committed to building high performance, greener and healthier buildings, whether or not you're going for a green building certification or just designing to those guidelines. There are a lot of places that people could look for products, but it's oftentimes not easy to find those products with transparency information. And further, what does the transparency information mean? What is it telling you about the manufacturer? So Sustainable Minds' position is that product transparency does build credibly greener brands, but not by just producing disclosures. The value for manufacturers to provide this environmental information comes from demonstrating they understand what it means and they know what they're doing. Because making greener purchase decisions ultimately requires understandable and meaningful information presented in a consistent way so you can make comparative decisions. And ultimately, that kind of presentation gives you insight into the brand, it gives you trust, which is what builds powerful brands, and powerful brands create preference and value for their companies. So today we are hearing from Sloan and Hunter panels to hear their stories about what they're doing. And so you can come away from this presentation with a much deeper understanding of what the company is, who's in the company, what they care about, and what they're doing. And with that, Patrick, I turn it over to you.
Great. Thanks, Jerry. Thanks for having me here today. I truly appreciate it. So hello from Chicago. I'm Patrick Boyle. I'm the Director of Corporate Sustainability for Sloan Valve Company. There we go. So what exactly does that mean? Well, I'm responsible for managing and championing the various sustainability programs here at Sloan, like our water reduction programs, our energy reduction programs, carbon reduction programs, and even our waste reduction programs across all of our facilities globally. I'm also responsible for ensuring that our products are manufactured in a sustainable fashion, as well as educating our customer base as well. So about 4 years ago, I created and launched our CEU Lunch and Learn program. We started initially with 2 instructors and 1 CEU course that was approved by AIA. Now we currently have about over 120 authorized CEU instructors nationwide, and they deliver about 9 different CEU courses, and those courses are all approved by AIA, GBCI, ID, CEC, and ASPE. And those of you who need the CEU credits, you know what all those various acronyms stand for. And we're able to get in front of about 5,000 different attendees each year. So it's been a great program. If you're interested in a CEU course from Sloan, you can find more information at our website at sloan.com. I'm also the current board chair for the Illinois, excuse me, sorry about that, Green Alliance. That is the chapter here in Chicago for the USGBC. I also sit on the Water Efficiency Technical Advisory Group for USGBC. And I've written several different articles on water conservation, water stewardship, and now, of course, product transparencies. So, but that's enough about me. Let's hear a little bit more about Sloan. So who is Sloan? That happy-looking guy right there on the left-hand side, that's Mr. William Elvis Sloan. He actually invented the first Royal Flushometer back in 1906 right here in Chicago. Fast forward 113 years, or 4 generations from then, and Sloan is still a privately held company based here in Chicago by the same family. So we're a B2B company. We have various operations across the U.S. and the globe. Our our West Coast DC is based just outside of Los Angeles, California. Our custom sink operation and West Coast Design Center is located in Mesa, Arizona. We have our flush mate division, which is in New Hudson, Michigan, which is just outside of Detroit. We have an operation where we manufacture all of our sensors and faucets and some other systems in Andover, Massachusetts, which is just outside of Boston. And it's also our newest design center as well. Our corporate headquarters is here in Chicago, and we have our foundry, which is located just outside of Little Rock, Arkansas. We also have a sink division in Saltillo, Mexico. We got a joint venture in China, which is housed in the Lead Gold facility. And our newest operation, which is set to open up in probably a couple months, is just outside of New Delhi in India, and that will be LEED certified as well. We're shooting for silver, but hoping for gold on that one. So we manufacture sustainable solutions for the commercial restroom. We don't do anything for your home or residential. Our products are recognized around the world to be best known for offering, our customers high quality and high efficient water savings solutions. So we'll dive into this a little bit later on, but Sloan has the widest breadth of transparency reports amongst the commercial plumbing manufacturers. We offer a wide selection of products with an environmental product declaration or an EPD. Most of our products that have an EPD also have a health product declaration or HPD. And we also have several products with a red list free declare label as well. So this is my playground. You'll find Sloan products in just about every place you go, from universities, K through 12 schools, office buildings, government buildings, healthcare facilities, prisons. Well, I hope you're visiting or touring a prison. You're not actually incarcerated in one. But if you are, you'll probably be using Sloan products in there too. So we're also found in hotels, restaurants, and sports stadiums as well. So I mentioned earlier that Mr. Sloan invented the Royal Flushometer back in 1906. His invention actually replaced the tank and chain setup that were common back in those days. That product shown here will consume anywhere between 10 to 12 gallons of water to flush a toilet. The Royal valve at that time used only 6 gallons of water. So right away, you were saving half the amount of water. So originally, it was invented as a water savings device. Construction was booming in 1906, and Mr. Sloan worked with architects, engineers, building owners to get his new product installed into the newest buildings in Chicago. And in his first year, he sold 1 flush valve. He knew he had a great product, though, so he continued to work with designers and engineers and building owners in Chicago, but he also spread out his efforts to Milwaukee, Detroit, and other close by cities, and his work paid off. In 1907, he doubled sales. Yes, he sold 2 valves in 1907, but fortunately, Mr. Sloan was a very persistent man, and he continued to push his product, and Sloan's become the company that it is today, and the Royal Flushometer has grown to be the #1 selling flushometer brand. The product has evolved over the years. It's now offered with battery or hardwire sensor technology, dual flush and sensor dual flush technology. We've even incorporated a PV panel into sensor units that's able to recharge the internal capacitor using just the ambient light in that restroom. We also have a reclaimed water flushometer. This product was designed specifically for that harsher qualities of reclaimed water. Comes with the proper Pantone purple diaphragm kit internally. You can also get it with the optional purple colored handle. And also per the plumbing code, we have to supply a non-potable water plaque that you have to place somewhere near that flush valve, just to ensure that no one tries to drink the water out of that urinal or toilet. Yes, that's actually part of the code. The evolution actually continues today with our concealed valve that doesn't need a chase. So that gives you back additional square footage to that building or project. The CX valve that you see here can be installed and maintained all from that front panel. So it's a small panel that allows you access to that valve and plumbing behind the wall. Kind of a nice, new, sleek, modern design for flush valves. Our vitreous china fixtures have all been engineered specifically for commercial use. This allows our products to achieve high MAP scores for all of our vitreous china fixtures. The MAP performance or MAP score is an ASME fixture standard that rates the flushing performance of water closets. So if you're specifying water closets, the higher the MAP score, the better the performance of that valve. And the highest MAP score that is achievable is 1,000. So you're trying to find a flush valve to specify that's close towards that 1,000 score. We also offer a full line of washdown, water-free, and hybrid urinals. Our washdown urinals are available in a range of flush volumes from everywhere from a half gallon, a quarter gallon, down to an 1/8 gallon. The hybrid, which you see there, is the newest version of our water-free product. This is a water-free product device that's actually plumbed to the building's water supply system. So most of the issues that we've heard about water-free were from the lack of maintenance on the actual units. So when that cartridge is changed out, the custodial staff should be flushing out that drain with about 5 gallons of water. And unfortunately, from what we've discovered, that this wasn't actually being conducted. And what happens is struvite, which is the minerals from urine, will collect and build up around that drain and actually constrict the flow out, which caused many of the issues associated with water-free urinals. So the hybrid actually uses our jet rinse technology, and it automatically purges that drain line with 1 gallon of water every 72 hours. So that washes out the back of the cartridge and keeps that drain line clear. This means that the only maintenance that the custodial staff would have is just to change that cartridge out whenever needed. So the hybrid is still, even though it's plumbed to the building's water system, it's still considered to be a water-free device by USGBC because it does consume less than 150 gallons of water per year. There we go. Sloan was also the pioneer in the development of commercial sensor faucets. We now offer the most comprehensive line of sensor faucets for the widest array of various applications. A lot of styles, designs, and options than any other manufacturer out there. So designers, architects, and engineers can find the perfect solution to meet their needs while staying within budget. Our faucets are available in a variety of flow rates from half gallon down to the 0.35 gallon per minute flow. Several models can also be programmed to run for a certain amount of time to help purge water supply lines, to help keep bacteria from growing in those lines that aren't used very often. We have a wide variety of different power options that include battery and hardwired. And we also have PV and turbine power harvesting options as well, so you can incorporate those into just about any Sloan faucet. Our newest feature is our recently released Sloan Connect smartphone app. The system will allow you to sync with the handheld device, whether it's an iPhone or a tablet or a Samsung or whatever. You can tap directly into the Sloan faucet, and this really helps you out because you can troubleshoot that faucet without actually having to take that faucet out of service. So you tap into it. It'll tell you various data points like battery level, water consumption, and a host of other data points on that particular Sloan faucet. So, and all of our faucets, you can see down there at the bottom, our faucets and flush valves come in a variety of different finishes, from brushed nickel, polished brass, stainless steel, polished chrome, matte black, and our newest one is actually graphite, which isn't on this one just yet. It's that new, hot off the press. Our air deck sink system integrates the soap dispenser, the faucet, and the hand dryer into the sink basin. These all work together as a touch-free, hygienic system. What's nice about this is the deck-mounted hand dryer actually works with the system. There's an air dam built into the front side of that sink system. It's an air dam. So when that hand dryer actuates, the air that's blown out is actually foiled down underneath the sink, so it doesn't blow up the water and soap back up at the end user. The sink also, too far. The sink system comes in a variety of sizes, from 30 inches to 60 inches, 90 inches, 120 inches. So you can design your restroom around the actual air deck, or it can be fully customizable based on your design, which is nice. So either way, you can have trash cans built into it. There can be purse holders built into it. There's a lot of different things that we can do with that sink system to meet your needs. So all these products can help your restroom become more sustainable, right? Whether it's an airport, a sports stadium, or a healthcare facility, or even a popular healthcare food supermarket, Sloan products can help you meet your needs wherever they might be. So just a real quick few case studies that I've got for you. The first is from Purdue University, where the standard flushometer handles were swapped out with dual flush handles. And if you're not familiar with dual flush, the dual flush handles offer two different flush options. So if you tilt the handle up, you get a light flush of 1.1 gallons per flush. If you push it down, you get the standard 1.6 gallons per flush. So what Purdue did is they retrofitted two women's restrooms in two of its admin buildings with a total of 12 different handles. The school's engineering team, they chose the printing services building and the telecommunications building because both buildings had a good historical water use information. The restroom plumbing fixtures are the only major sources of water in those buildings, and the women actually comprised a high number of those buildings' population. So in the printer services building, water use dropped from an average of over 10,000 gallons a month down to about 5,800 gallons per month, and that resulted in a 43% drop in water usage. In the other building, water use dropped from about 12,000 gallons a month to about 8,600 gallons a month for a total median increase of about 30%. But there were some month-to-month comparisons where the yield drops more than 50%. So when you install the installation of the dual flush handles, that was the only change that they made in those bathrooms during that study. So based on Purdue's water costs, the ROI was pretty quick for them. So they saw the payback in less than 1 year. Another case study, a quick one, Century Tower Plazas in Los Angeles, 2.4 million square foot Class A office building. They decided to update their existing core public restrooms on each of their 44 floors. Nice about this is it created an opportunity for them to upgrade the aesthetics of a Class A property, but it also let the architect specify fixtures that were more water efficient in order to meet the building's commitment to LEED and LEED Gold. So what they did is they swapped out several different products. They swapped out the existing 1-gallon urinals with the hybrid models, and doing that alone helped them save about 4 million gallons of water. They changed out the water closets from 3.5 gallons down to 1.28 gallons, and that saved them about almost 9 million gallons of water. And the faucets themselves, they swapped those out with half-gallon sensor faucets, resulting in almost 6 million gallons of water saved. So you can see how water savings can quickly add up when you scale it up in a large office complex like the Century Plaza Towers. So the volume of water flowing through these various commercial restroom fixtures and fittings has declined dramatically over the last 30 to 40 years. However, we're at a point now where we're flushing water closets with as little as 1.1 gallons of water or 1 gallon of water, and urinals are at a pint or even some cases, right, water free. So I'm not sure how much lower we can continue to drive flush volumes down without sacrificing the sanitation of that restroom. So, I mean, the primary function of these products is to ensure a safe and healthy environment, right? So we shouldn't be sacrificing water sanitation for water conservation. So about 4 years ago, Sloan started to look into product transparency reports. We started looking more at how our products impact environmental and human health, and not so much water conservation. So we started getting more and more requests from our customer base. So architects, designers, engineers were asking us more for these various documents. And we started seeing certain firms actually giving preference to manufacturers who offered EPDs and HPDs on their products. Their clients were asking for these types of reports because all the high-performing building frameworks are now offering credits for product transparency. So LEED version 4, Living Building Challenge, BREEAM, Green Globes, all these different frameworks now offer credits for product transparency. Like I said before, Sloan currently, we offer the widest breadth of product transparency reports. We provide EPDs and HPDs on our, our manual diaphragm and piston flushometers. We have them on our top-mounted battery sensor flushometers, our urinals, water closets, and lavatories, and most recently on our sensor faucets. So the nice thing about these reports is all of our EPDs have been externally critically reviewed, and they now meet the LEED version 4.1 criteria and can offer the 1.5 product value. So as you're trying to meet that 20 product or 10 product number as outlined in LEED, each Sloan product that has an EPD will count 1.5 times towards that number, which helps you and your client achieve that MR credit a little more easily. Early in our transparency journey, I was going through our data and our life cycle and impact assessment, and you can see here from our sensor flush valve data, I knew I wanted to improve our product's performance, and I realized I now knew how much embodied carbon was in our products, right? So if you look across the cradle to grave impact categories, you see the global warming impact our products have. And in this case, the most intensive is the raw material extraction, which is actually relatively low because all the brass that we source for our flush valves come from post-consumer sources like scrap plumbing products and old car radiators. We broke out the operational water use because this product has different flush volumes. So if you compare that 36 and you look at the global warming potential on the water side, you can see it's a lot higher. So with potable water, most people don't realize the carbon intensity, the embodied carbon that potable water actually has. When you consider the amount of energy it takes to extract that water from its source, pump it to a treatment facility, treat it to drinking standards, pump it to the end user, sometimes they heat it, it's used, it's brought back to a treatment facility where it's treated again before it's released back into the environment. So huge carbon footprint associated with with potable water. So I knew that I wanted to do something to help reduce our carbon footprint. So what I did, I partnered with Arbor Day Foundation. And for those of you who aren't really familiar with Arbor Day, they're the world's largest nonprofit dedicated towards planting trees. So they know exactly how much carbon a tree can sequester over its lifetime. I knew exactly how much carbon Sloan was creating with our products. So we partnered with them and we purchased reforestation credits to offset our carbon footprint. There's a lot of different ways that you can offset your carbon footprint, but this had a nice water connection, right? It improved water quality. Trees obviously improve air quality. They help with flood control. They restore wildlife habitat, and they also create jobs, right? We need someone to plant the trees and maintain them to make sure that they grow up to be a healthy forest. I wanted to be sure that we weren't accused of greenwashing. So all the data that we used to offset the carbon in our products was extracted from our ISO life cycle assessment reports, right? Our carbon offsets are registered and they're verified through the American Carbon Registry. And that process has been certified to the British Standard Institute's past 2060 standard. So if you want to find a little bit more about our carbon neutral product lineup, you can check it out on sloan.com. So when I look at the trends through my lens, I'm seeing more requests, like I said earlier, for HPDs and EPDs from our customers. I believe LEED version 4.1 has done a good job at helping ease some of the strict requirements of LEED version 4, and we're starting to see more projects going after the MR credit, which is great. I also think that we're going to start to see, as more buildings continue to certify to WELL, there's going to be more of an appetite for product HPDs too. So, but there is still some confusion out there with these reports. They're not easy to read or comprehend, which can lead to a lack of specification in some projects. So the nice thing is it provides with a lot of information and data. So if manufacturers truly read the reports and understand the impacts that their products have on the environment, they'll start to begin to use that data to make improvements throughout their manufacturing and supply chain processes. And if you haven't seen Greta Thunberg's speech at the UN earlier this week, I would highly encourage you to YouTube it. And if you have kids, watch that with them too. I mean, there's a lot that all of us should be doing that we need to get on board to help reduce our impacts of global warming. So just to wrap up here, if you go on to Sustainable Minds, this is the Sloan product transparency section. You can see we have disclosures available for all of our main product families. And if you dig a little bit deeper, you can see on the left here, these are our various flushometers that are available. You can see we have declare labels, HPDs, and EPDs. On that right side, it kind of gives you the wider variety of products that we have. So with that, I thank you.
Well, thank you, Patrick.
Thank you, Patrick.
That was super interesting. A lot to dig into there. But let's move ahead. And Nicole, tell us about Hunter panels and polyiso cyanurate insulation.
Great, thank you. So I'm very excited to tell you about our company and our products. But first, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm Nicole Richard. I'm a technical service specialist here at Hunter Panels. I've been in the building industry now for the last 25 years, and I started my career as a salesperson. I moved on to managing salespeople, and now I'm on the technical side. Here, I get to assist architects, engineers, consultants, and specifiers with figuring out the best products for their specific applications. I assist in navigating through today's difficult to understand codes, as many of you know. I also am submitting products for a specification approval. I've written articles for our industry's magazines, and I'm active on LinkedIn, keeping our industry up to date with the latest information about polyiso. A little bit about Hunter Panels. We are part of Carlisle Construction Materials. We're a polyiso manufacturer, and we've been making products for the last 21 years. Polyiso is the short name for polyiso, much easier to pronounce. Polyiso is a rigid foam insulation consisting of a foam core bonded between two facers and is widely used in commercial markets for both roof and wall applications. We have a wide variety of energy-efficient products that meet the needs of our customers. We sell our products through distribution, so although you won't find us in big box stores, we have a large customer base throughout the US and Canada. Our headquarters is located in Portland, Maine. This is where you'll find our sales, technical, and marketing teams. We have 7 manufacturing facilities across the US, making us the largest polyiso manufacturer in North America. With 7 manufacturing facilities, this allows us to move product to our customers without adding miles to the freight companies. The more places you have to ship from means quicker delivery times to customers and less hours on the road for our drivers. As a company, we think of sustainability as a balanced integration, and we're looking at what we can do today and what we might be able to do in the future. Polyiso is already a durable product meant to increase the life of roofing and wall systems, offering energy efficiency to the overall building envelope and reducing the building's carbon footprint. We have an excellent innovation and research center where we're constantly looking at how to improve the sustainability of our products through our manufacturing process and also other aspects of our products. In fact, our manufacturing facility in Montgomery, New York is currently updating their recycling program to be more vigorous in order to maintain their ISO 14001 certification. Our products offer continuous insulation when applied to the exterior of a building. Well, what is continuous insulation? Also known as CI, is defined as insulation that is continuous across all structural members without thermal bridges other than fastener and service openings. Our products are a clear choice as they block thermal bridging and increase the overall thermal performance of a wall assembly. Our products keep energy and heat loss to a minimum while increasing the building's energy efficiency, which leads to lower monthly costs. In this top picture, we are showing our product installed on the outside of the base wall, providing continuous insulation. We know heat flows from hot to cold, and we're paying to heat and cool the conditioned space of a building. Here in Maine, we're trying to keep our houses warm during our long winter months. So is it possible to keep heat from moving from the inside to the outside? Actually, no. There's no way to eliminate thermal leaks. However, you can certainly manage them using CI products and thinking about multiple layers. This bottom picture is a roofing application, and it's showing a standard 2-layered system. This is a better roofing practice because with staggered joints, there is reduced thermal loss, reduced thermal bridging, and reduced condensation. As the AE community is aware, the codes are constantly changing to support higher R values, so using CI on the exterior in both roofing and wall applications is a good option. Polyiso is one option for the insulation of a building envelope, and typically preferred because there's a thinner profile with a higher R value for added energy efficiency. R value is essentially a product's resistance to heat flow, which means the higher the product's R value, the better it is at insulating the building and improving energy efficiency. The other insulations in our industry are EPS, or expanded polystyrene, XPS, or extruded polystyrene, and mineral fiber. An example of the thinner profile making a significant difference is that in a typical 4-inch masonry cavity, using our product offers more space for airflow and work area. Our 2-inch product offers an R value of 13.3. You would need a 3 or 3.5-inch thick product with using one of the other insulation options. This thinner profile maximizes the usable square footage of the building and helps save on costs and labor. Hunter Panels is a member of PIMA, which stands for Polyisonuret Insulation Manufacturers Association. This organization is a unified voice for the polyiso industry in North America. They proactively advocate for safe, cost-effective, sustainable, and energy-efficient construction. PIMA focuses on issues, research, and solutions that help advance the use of polyiso in new and retrofit construction. They also oversee all polyiso manufacturers to ensure we are supplying the very best quality products to our industry. According to PIMA, the energy savings potential of polyiso roof and wall insulation over a typical 60-year building lifespan is equal to up to 47 times the initial energy required to produce, transport, install, and eventually remove and dispose of the insulation. PIMA and polyiso products have received EPA and sustainability awards, including the U.S. EPA's Climate Protection Award for leadership in promoting energy efficiency and climate protection, the Sustainable Buildings Industry Council's 2003 Best Practice Award, and the EPA's Stratospheric Ozone Protection Award for leadership in the CFC phase-out for polyiso and in recognition of exceptional contributions to global environmental protection. Polyiso is an ideal choice for green building designs because when it's part of the building envelope, it reduces the need for energy, which can reduce air pollution and reduce greenhouse gases. Reduced energy consumption by just 10% in roofs is equal to planting over 345 million trees. Needless to say, that there's a lot of greatness that comes from planting 345 million trees. These include, it generates $10.7 trillion of oxygen, controls $10.8 trillion worth of soil erosion, recycle $12.9 trillion worth of water, provide $21.4 trillion worth of air pollution control, and the equivalent of removing 42.7 million cars off the road for 1 year. So why is Hunter Panels polyiso an ideal choice for green building designs? We have been evolving our product as the industry demands, making changes based on sustainability and environmental concerns. In 2003, we changed over to a new blowing agent that is more environmentally friendly and started using next-gen chemistry. This blowing agent has zero ozone depletion properties, contains no CFCs, HFCs, or HCFCs, and has virtually no global warming properties, all the while maintaining our high R value per inch. This is critical as the impact of climate change is a worldwide environmental concern. Our products contain both post-industrial and pre-consumer recycled content. We have superior fire resistance and we contribute towards LEED credits. When designers and specifiers are trying to acquire LEED credits, polyiso is a contributor by meeting or exceeding R value goals while minimizing the thickness required for wall or roof assemblies. We already touched on the recycled content, but polyiso can be removed, reused, and salvaged on-site or off-site. As one of the most thermally efficient building insulations, polyiso allows for indoor environmental thermal comfort. Architects and specifiers want to specify products with EPDs, so we listened, and we led the market by obtaining Hunter Panels specific EPDs on all of our roofing and wall products. This offers one full LEED credit when our products are part of the design build, since we have a manufacturer's specific EPD. To simplify the process for you, all of our products with transparency disclosures can be found in our transparency catalog listing. We currently have 13 products with our manufacturer-specific EPDs for roofing applications, and 10 products with our manufacturer-specific EPDs for wall applications. Our products are primarily specified under divisions 6100 and 7200. So let's talk about our products. We offer a wide variety of products for low slope applications, also referred to as flat and tapered products, as well as steep slope products to go underneath shingles, standing seam metal roofs, tile, and slate. Our Cool Vent product is used under shingles in order to increase the life of a shingle roof by approximately 10% by allowing airflow throughout the entire roof system. We also provide cover boards and composite panels. I mentioned that our headquarters is located in Portland, Maine. This particular case study is very near and dear to our hearts. Our Cool Vent product was used on this high-profile LEED project. This building was awarded a LEED Gold building certification. Due to the harsh winter weathers here in Maine and extreme coastal elements, our Cool Vent product was installed using multiple layers with staggered joints to reduce thermal bridging and further increase the rooftop's overall energy efficiency. Our state senator, Susan Collins, said, "Energy conservation is important to curbing rising heating and electric bills, and a lot of hard work went into making this building environmentally friendly. This building raises the threshold for other buildings in Maine to become more energy efficient. This LEED certified building demonstrates the strong commitment to environmental stewardship." Here's another project in which our H-Shield NB, our non-vented nail board, was used and achieved a silver award by the Asphalt Roofing Manufacturers Association. This building was looking to achieve reduced heat loss through the attic and prevent dangerous icicles from forming. When it comes to our wall products, we have a full product portfolio for wall applications in which we have done extensive fire performing testing and able to assist the specifier in figuring out the best product for their particular application. This case study was done using our XCI Foil Class A product on the University of North Dakota's Wilkinson Commons project. They were looking for an efficient and easy to install product, and the architect on the project said this product with the rain screen was a very good architectural practice. Here's an article in which our XCI Foil Class A product was showcased on the Big Ten building in Rosemont, Illinois. The architect had the goal of an energy efficient and economical LEED certified building by using a terracotta rain screen wall system and our XCI Foil Class A continuous exterior insulation. I want to thank you all for participating and invite you to check out our website at hunterpanels.com for more information on our company and our products. We also have a technical hotline for questions, and we also have a live chat if you'd like to talk to myself or one of my colleagues.
Well, thank you, Nicole. I think both of the presentations that you and Patrick gave today were super informative, and I'm coming away not only understanding much more about your respective companies, but much more about how your respective products work. And it's very valuable information. Well, let's talk about how the transparency catalog works and how people who are here in the webinar can use it to find not only your products quickly, but other products quickly for the products that they need across the master format divisions and sections that they're specifying. So I'm going to show you a quick set of screenshots, and I'm going to do a live demo. There's two ways you can use the catalog depending upon where you are in your process and how you like to do research. You can go directly to the manufacturer's listings, or you can use the master format filtering that allows you to find every single manufacturer in that product division and section in one click. And today, you'll find in the catalog that there are over 1,250 brands who make products in North America, all who have products with transparency information. We really worked hard to address the challenge that most AECs have struggled with, which is to quickly find all the products that they need while they're researching, and most importantly, when the specification is being written, because as we all know, if the product doesn't get into the spec, there's no chance it's going to actually get purchased and installed in the building. So we have been waiting until such a time there were enough manufacturers with enough products across enough master format divisions to provide that capability, which we built and launched in January of this year. And we'll be having a webinar in the next few weeks that goes in a little bit more detail on the transparency catalog, use cases, and the content that you'll find there. But I'm just as surprised as anybody else to be able to report that since we introduced the master format filtering, the amount of usage of the site since January through today has increased over 400%, with longer session times, more page views, and people are using the filtering as well as going to the manufacturer's listings, and it's a pretty nice mix of uses. We continually acquire feedback from folks we talk to. For those of you who responded to the question in the registration, we appreciate that. Pretty typically, people who attend the webinars have taken a look or are using the catalog and have confirmed that it is something that they'll use frequently. But even more importantly, we say the most important users in the first year that a manufacturer has their products in the catalog is to enable all of their reps, distributors, partners to be able to find every product all in one place, on one page, correlated with the disclosures that go with it. And it's free to use. There's no login. So it's a really great tool for a quick reference to use in demos and lunch and learns, and to help get your reps up the learning curve about product transparency and enable them to integrate that knowledge into the knowledge they already have on every other aspect of your products. So in the listing, there are standard components. It's a template, again, to make it super easy for people to use. So everything is always in the same place on the page. Every listing has the manufacturer's logo with a link to their website, quick introduction, the ability for you to contact them in any way the manufacturer wants you to contact them. And we've also added a link to the people at that particular company who are responsible for product transparency and who want to know when you've specified their products with transparency information. And you may have heard this referred to as closing the loop. getting that feedback back to the manufacturers so they have the knowledge that, yes, their investments in product transparency are paying off. People are specifying the products. So letting folks know is really important, and that link will pop up an email to the right person at that company. Just send an email to them and they'll appreciate hearing from you. At the core of the listing is this table, and that's what Nicole and Patrick showed you quickly in their presentations. And the table is a matrix. The horizontal is the master format division and section that their products are in, with the manufacturer's brand name appended to that master format division and section, so you know what they call their products in that particular division and section. The vertical axis gives you the brand and product name, which is a link to the manufacturer's content on their website. We believe that manufacturers shouldn't have to manage a lot of content about their products someplace that isn't their website. So that should be kind of the single source of truth. So we send you there. And then you'll be able to see which types of transparency disclosures, whether it's environmental performance or material health or both. You'll be able to link directly to get that EPD. In a glance, you'll be able to learn a little bit about it, the scope, the regionality, the validity date. And the same thing, if they have a declare label or cradle to cradle, you can see right there what level it is, again, the validity date. So there's a lot you can learn just by scanning that listing. Now that we've added the master format filtering, we're literally pulling those sections, those master format divisions and sections from each of the manufacturer's listing when a user applies those filters. And they are sorted in order of featured brand, standard listing, and then the free listings that are in the catalog, where we have included all the manufacturers who have EPDs and who have HPDs, and those links go to those disclosures and to their websites, not to their product information. And so we look to you to encourage manufacturers to add their products, because that's going to make things a little bit easier for you to find as you continue to use the catalog. So again, if you come to the front page of the catalog, we like for you to be able to see every single manufacturer who has invested in product transparency. You can scan the list like this. You can use this simple old-fashioned anchor links to get you down into that section. We've done this for two reasons. Three reasons. We think it's important for people to literally see how many manufacturers have invested in product transparency disclosures. We also want you to be able to find brands you might not have known about, and therefore products that you might not have known about. And we want to make it easy, again, for you to find the brands you are looking for. And so we can come down here into the S section and go right to, go right to the Sloan listing. A little slow on the uptake there. And so here it is live. You can see what Patrick showed in the screenshot, all of the different master format sections. It's all in Division 22. And notice he has 7 sections of flushometers, and he went through the different lines that they have. And you can go right in there and get right to that product page on their website and get the additional information, download the spec, as well as all the disclosures are right there. Same thing with Hunter panels. You can go right there, learn a little bit more about them, contact them, and see all the products that they have, and go right to their website to learn more. and get the disclosures as well. The last thing I'll invite you to explore on your own is the master format filtering. And depending upon where you are in your process, you can simply say, I just want to see all of the manufacturers and all the products in Division 7 with transparency information. I don't even need to select a section. And in just a couple seconds, you're going to see that there are 126 brands and over 1,100 products. So you can certainly click through page by page to see those brands and those products, or you can use any of these filters in any order to filter down to just the stuff you want to explore. So you might say 126 brands, that's a lot of brands. Let me just see who they are. And you can go here and select the brands that you want to see, and then you'll just see those when you click the results. Or you might say, I'm working on a lead project, so what I really want to do is just see the products across all the sections in Division 7 where I'm going to earn the EPD credit. And we've quickly filtered it down to 66 brands and 473 products. And then you can even say, well, which ones let me earn both credits with the same product? And now you're down to 5 brands and 277 products. You can see which brands those are. Or another way to do it, again, if you're going down the specification path, you might say, great, now that I see there are so many brands and products in Division 7, let me just start digging into each section that I need to specify a product, well, 3 products typically, and you'll be able to find those 3 products all right there. Now, the way we've designed the filtering, we tried a lot of different ways to design this, and what we ended up with for now, again, because we'd like people to find brands they might not have known about, but also we want people to find products they might not have known existed that can be used for the same application. So the way the filter is designed is that when you select 0720 thermal protection, every single product in Division 720 is going to get displayed. And then what you're going to do is you're going to turn off the sections that you don't want to see. So let's say you're not interested in roof and deck, you're not interested in exterior, you're not interested today in vapor barriers or weather barriers or air barriers. You're just interested in thermal insulation. All right, so that brings you down to 28 brands and 119 products. You can go look at the brands and just select the ones you want and filter it down that way, or use the rating systems filter. And then you can go ahead and do the research that you want. Go to the manufacturer's website, get the disclosure. Product name allows you to search on a term in the product name field. So let's say you've used a product before, you can't remember the manufacturer that it's from, and you can type that name in. Here's a quick example. I used a product that had Shield in the name, and there we go. There's the products. And let's say you hadn't heard of Hunter panels because maybe you didn't come to this webinar. Let's go there for a moment. And you might say, yeah, you know what, I'm interested in Hunter panels. Let me see everything they've got. And you can click there, and you're going to go to the Hunter panels listing and learn about them, contact them, and find every product they've got. Thank you for attending the webinar today and sticking it out with us. I'd like to thank Nicole and Patrick for their really comprehensive presentations. There's a few exit questions we'll hope you'll take the time to respond to on your way out. You will get the link to the recording, and you can request a PDF of the deck. And I want to thank Nicole and Patrick for putting in the time and spending it with us today. Thank you very much. And that's it for today. Thanks everyone for attending.